tonight we mark the unprecedented moment in California history. To reflect on where we've been this past year, I think it's important we consider where we are. And I'm speaking to you from Dodger Stadium, transformed from the home of last year's World Series champions into the centerpiece of America's mass vaccination campaign. Instead of fans in the stands, we see nurses in PPE saving lives one injection at a time. All because a year ago, a once-in-a-century pandemic arrived on our shores. COVID was no one's fault, but it quickly became everyone's burden, forcing hardworking Californians into impossible choices to go to work and risk infection or stay home and lose your job. It magnified daily worries about feeding your kids, paying rent, and keeping loved ones safe. 54,395 Californians we now mourn with broken hearts. That's almost the exact same number of empty seats behind me, marking a silent tribute to loved ones who live forever in our memories. 54,395 Californians who will never be forgotten by family members and friends, nor by the healthcare workers who bore witness to unimaginable tragedy. You know, Dr. King once said, "Only when it's dark enough can you see the stars." So tonight, under the lights of this stadium, even as we grieve, let's allow ourselves to dream of brighter days ahead. Because we won't be defined by this moment. We'll be defined by what we do because of it. After all, we are California. We don't wait for someone else to show us the way forward. We go first, and we go boldly. We led in gay rights, gun rights, and criminal justice reform. And now we lead on combating COVID. You know, from the earliest days of this pandemic, California trusted in science and data, and we met the moment. And we were the first to launch these mass vaccination sites in partnership with FEMA, now a model for other states all across the country. Today we have the most robust vaccination program in the country. Think about this. California now ranks 6th in the world for vaccination distribution, ahead of countries, not states, ahead of countries like Russia, Germany, Israel, and France. I know our progress hasn't always felt fast enough. And look, we've made mistakes. I have made mistakes, but we own them. We learn from them, and we never stop trying. After all, that's the California spirit. Look, the state of our state, it remains determined. I remain determined. And I just want you to know, we're not going to change course just because of a few naysayers and doomsdayers. So to the California critics out there who are promoting partisan political power grabs with outdated prejudices and rejecting everything that makes California truly great, we say this: we will not be distracted from getting shots in arms and our economy booming again. This is a fight for California's future. Just think about this. This year, we're going to invest over $10 billion in the nuts and bolts of California. Infrastructure like roads and rail and bridges and public transit. The biggest infrastructure package, by the way, since the Great Recession over a decade ago. Building towards universal broadband, connecting all Californians equitably and affordably, and investing in our most important asset, our children. Now, there's nothing more foundational to an equitable society than getting our kids safely back into the classrooms. Remote learning, it's exacerbated the gaps we've all been working so hard to close. Our kids are missing too many rites of passage, field trips and proms and graduations, teachers pulling triple duty as counselors, curriculum developers, tech specialists, parents desperate for reopening dates. In December, it was not that long ago, in December, as COVID was surging, many schools were contemplating an alarming decision, giving up completely on in-person instruction for the rest of the school year. In just a few months since, working together with parents and teachers and school leaders, we've turned the conversation from whether to reopen to when. Every day, every single day, more and more schools are announcing reopening dates. In fact, almost 7,000 schools are now open or plan to reopen by mid-April for in-person instruction.